For idols, even the smallest gesture, like a glance or even a matching accessory, can spiral into full-blown dating rumors. They live under constant surveillance, where every move is analyzed and nothing stays private for long. While most rumors fade without confirmation, some stories explode into full scandals, revealing just how messy and unpredictable love behind the scenes can be. A rumored love story that has broken the internet quite a few times now is that of BTS's V and BLACKPINK's Jennie, a pairing so popular that just the idea of them interacting sends social media into overdrive. Their alleged romance all started with what might have been the most innocent mistake in K-pop history, an accidental follow on Instagram. Back in December 2021, BTS had just launched their personal Instagram accounts, and V, navigating the app for the first time like the rest of his members, accidentally followed Jennie. It was a split-second move that most people wouldn't even notice, but for two of the most followed and most scrutinized idols in the world, it was enough to send fans into a full craze. Not long after, V took to Weverse to clarify the situation, writing, "Is there a way to get rid of the recommended friends list here on this Insta thing? It's a scary app." Within minutes, the follow had disappeared, but the damage was already done. Some were quick to dismiss it as a harmless mistake, as it's something that could happen to anyone, but others weren't convinced. Fan theories popped up overnight, speculating that the follow-up was never accidental to begin with, and that the two were already romantically involved, but hiding it carefully until V's mistake blew the cover. What went down in December 2021 can still be considered the calm before the storm, because rumors only really started pouring in May 2022. Netizens went wild when a photo allegedly showing both V and Jennie driving together on Jeju Island began circulating online. The image showed a man driving and a woman in the passenger seat, and both figures looked eerily like V and Jennie. For those who believed the photo was real, there was more than just a resemblance to base this on. One specific detail quickly caught the eye of fans. The woman in the picture was wearing a pair of Tombu sunglasses from Gentle Monster, the exact same model Jennie had shown off in one of her own Instagram posts. Of course, social media immediately exploded, and fans began theorizing. Some were convinced it was a genuine, unfiltered moment of the two idols spending time together privately, while others were adamant it was photoshopped, pointing to the differences in Jennie's hair color at the time, or claiming it was just a clever edit from a BTS variety show. Just the picture alone wasn't enough to confirm that the two were actually in a relationship, but what made fans even more suspicious was the story of an airline employee. This person, working for the budget airline T-Way Air, made a post on the anonymous but verified app Blind, claiming to have seen both Jennie and V traveling together to Jeju Island. According to them, the two idols were spotted boarding flight TW717 on May 21st, sitting in business class and behaving as if they had nothing to hide. The employee even listed the flight number, departure time, and specific requests they allegedly made on board, right down to snacks and blankets. Other users on the app, who also claimed to be airline employees, backed the story up. What made this claim feel even more legitimate to many fans wasn't just the eerie alignment with the photo's timeline, which was released the very next day, but the fact that the Blind app requires professional verification to post. But even with these subtle pieces falling into place, not everyone was convinced. Skeptics were quick to point out a number of inconsistencies, starting with the choice of airline itself. Jennie and V, two of the most successful, wealthiest idols in the industry, flying business class on a low-cost carrier like T-Way Air seemed odd to many. Why wouldn't they fly private, or at the very least first class on a more exclusive airline where their presence would be better protected? Although many netizens remained unsure about the authenticity of the picture, the complete radio silence from both V and Jennie's agencies kind of felt like the final detail that made the rumors even harder to ignore. When contacted by news outlets, Jennie's label at the time, YG Entertainment, offered nothing more than a vague, carefully worded statement in which they said they had nothing to share regarding the matter. And as for Big Hit Music, there was no response whatsoever. The rumors reached new heights in August 2022 when the internet was hit with a wave of new back-to-back photo leaks that, to some, proved this relationship was anything but imaginary. On August 23rd and 24th, fans were caught off guard as multiple images surfaced online showing the two idols together in casual settings. One photo appeared to be a mirror selfie taken in what many armies instantly recognized as the entrance of V's apartment. In another, Jennie could be seen leaning casually against a wall while V's stylist prepped him in the foreground. And just when fans thought things couldn't escalate any further, more photos were leaked on September 16th. In one image, Jennie is seen leaning into V as he places a gentle kiss on her forehead. Another picture, which quickly went viral, showed what appeared to be V lying on a bed next to a cat, which fans insisted belonged to Jennie's mother based on previously shared pictures. Some even claimed the bed itself matched photos of Jennie's own room, comparing everything from the headboard to the bedspread in an effort to verify the image. Some fans argued that the pictures were manipulated or taken by skilled cosplayers, pointing to inconsistencies in lighting or body proportions. While many netizens were convinced these pictures were fabricated, hand, others began raising serious privacy concerns, especially after rumors began going around that Jennie's private iCloud may have been hacked. With each new leak, fans worried more about how these photos were obtained in the first place and whether someone from her personal circle had been responsible. Not long after this discussion started, YG Entertainment released a statement, though not in direct response to the V-related rumors, saying, "We have officially requested the police to investigate who first circulated Jennie's personal photos." Although the agency didn't clarify which specific photos caused them to take legal action, the timing raised many eyebrows, especially as the V-related leaks had already become a full-blown scandal. After months of silence and speculation, a moment fans had been waiting for finally happened. On May 15th, 2023, BTS's V was spotted departing for France, dressed in his usual high-fashion airport style, turning heads at Incheon Airport as always. Around the same time, YG Entertainment confirmed that Jennie would also be in Paris, set to attend the prestigious Cannes Film Festival for her role in The Idol, which was featured in the non-competition section of the event. Then, completely unexpected, the internet broke once again. This time not because of a leaked photo, but because of a candid video filmed by Paris-based journalist and photographer Amar Tawalit. The clip, shared on Twitter and later reposted everywhere, appeared to show Jennie and V walking hand in hand through the quiet moonlit streets of Paris. Their pace was relaxed, their surroundings calm, and behind them, what looked like their managers followed them at a distance. Another video surfaced shortly after, this time showing the same two figures, dressed identically to how Jennie and V had been seen earlier that day, getting into a van. Netizens wasted no time in piecing everything together. V's jacket, Jennie's staff, the location, somehow everything made sense. Photographer Amar later took to his Instagram stories to confirm what many already believed, writing that the quality was low simply because the moment had caught him completely off guard. He made it clear that he had seen the pair up close and was confident in identifying them as Jennie and V. Interestingly, he hadn't even known Jennie was in Paris at the time. He had only gone out that night after a fan mentioned V might appear at a nearby event. But when he spotted the two idols at the venue, walking hand in hand, there was no doubt in his mind about who they were. Since the Paris incident, things have been quiet, and fans even started to believe that their chapter had officially come to an end. However, rumors were reignited when V was discharged from the military in June of this year. It started subtly when V shared a photo of the cake he received to celebrate the end of his service, and almost instantly, fans began comparing it to designs from a boutique bakery Jennie had frequently used in the past. While some dismissed it as a coincidence, others argued that the style, the packaging, and even the occasion itself felt just a little too familiar to be random. That wasn't all though, because fans on Korean forums like Nate Pan began sharing photos that showed V and Jennie both using what appeared to be identical keychains. These were small charms spotted in separate posts, but seemingly matching in design and detail. To make things even more suspicious, Jennie uploaded stills from her Seoul City video, a subtle act that many interpreted as a reference to V's military journey. Just hours later, V posted his own photos, including one captioned, "Love me JJ," a phrase that, while quite vague, felt a little too specific given the timing. Despite years of rumors and blurry photos, nothing has ever been officially confirmed between Jennie and V. Recently, during her appearance on Chicken Shop Date, Jennie joked that she hadn't been on a date in a very long time. Whether it was a subtle clapback to all the rumors or just a witty moment, it reminded everyone that the only people who really know the truth are Jennie and V themselves. And as the world focused on Jennie, another BLACKPINK member's love life quickly became the next hot topic. After Lisa released her most recent song, Moonlit Floor, people are convinced she's indeed dating LVMH heir Frédéric Arnault. After they were first seen together in 2022, countless rumors surfaced online, with many eager to find out more about their alleged relationship. The first public interaction between the two happened in November 2022 when Frédéric went to BLACKPINK's concert in Los Angeles. Afterward, he posted a picture with the members taken backstage with the caption, "What an amazing evening for the BLACKPINK concert in LA. Congratulations and see you soon in Paris." Netizens didn't think much of it, since Frédéric wouldn't be the first nor the last public figure to go to BLACKPINK's concert. Lisa's body language raised eyebrows for some netizens, but since the two hadn't been seen together before, so there was no reason to think that they were romantically involved. In fact, during their first few sightings, it was believed that the two were just friends. Last April, Lisa's unexpected friendship stole the show when BLACKPINK took the stage at Coachella. She watched GOT7's Jackson and Dominic Fike's sets at the festival, even taking a picture with the latter backstage stage, met up with Billie Eilish, and even took a picture with Tyga and Peter Utz. Interestingly, Frédéric was also at the iconic Pinkchella after-party photo location, but since he wasn't pictured alone with Lisa, many didn't pay attention to him. However, months later, the two were seen hanging out again, now in Paris. The popular site Shoot in Paris shared a video of her dining at a restaurant, but due to the angle of the video, you couldn't really see who she was sitting with or talking to. Then another clip came out, now taken from a different angle, which revealed Frédéric sitting right next to her. It was then that people started suspecting that there might be something more between the two. Some insisted that it was possible that the two were just friends and said that Lisa should be allowed to have friends of the opposite gender without people jumping to conclusions about the nature of their relationship. Others thought that there must be a reason that the two were hanging out so much, and according to them, it wasn't because they were friends. What truly mattered to them wasn't the connection between the two, but Lisa's happiness above all. On July 12, 2023, rumors of them dating gained traction once again when major Korean news outlets like Sports Kyunghyang, JoongAng-ilbo, and Mail Kyungjae all reported on them. Based on the video of the two dining together, the media came to the conclusion that the two were in a relationship. The news spread like wildfire, and people had different reactions to it. Many were taken aback that Korean news picked up on the rumors so late, especially since Western media had covered the alleged romance months earlier. A few thought that Frédéric wasn't good enough for Lisa and that she could do much better. Others asserted that the rumors were false and that the two were nothing more than friends who had happened to hang out together at a restaurant. They just didn't see dining together as proof of a romantic relationship, pointing out that Lisa is very social, so it's unreasonable to assume every guy she spends time with is her boyfriend. Some even believed that YG Entertainment was behind the rumors, as many pointed out that BLACKPINK's contracts were nearing their expiration at the time. Throughout the next month, the rumors circulated heavily among fans, but there was no official confirmation or response. True to form, neither YG, Lisa, nor Frédéric addressed the speculation, letting people buzz with speculation and theories. Then, in August, Lisa shared vacation photos from what appeared to be Zakynthos in Greece. Along with stunning images of herself, she included shots of the beautiful scenery and a video of the boat going through the rocks. Even though the pictures were unassuming, netizens made some connections between her post and that of Frédéric Arnault's sister-in-law Geraldine. A few days earlier, the latter had shared a post on Instagram featuring similar pictures, particularly highlighting the rock formations like those in Lisa's photos. This led to assumptions that she had gone on vacation with the Arnault family. Shortly after, Frédéric posted some photos of his watch that seemed to have been taken in Italy, and not long after that, Lisa shared her own pictures, which were also supposedly taken at the same location. Despite all the proof of her being part of the Arnault family getaway, some speculated that Lisa's trip was actually organized by Bulgari, the brand she represents as an ambassador. This speculation grew when a photo of Bulgari CEO Jean-Christophe Babin appeared online, showing him seemingly at the same location Lisa had taken pictures in. When netizens asked about the rumors, he responded that while Lisa was always welcome to join them, he was actually on vacation with his family, not with her. A few days later, a netizen spotted the two sitting together on a couch at a private airport in Los Angeles and took a picture of them. It was rumored that Lisa had taken Frédéric's private jet from New Jersey after BLACKPINK wrapped up their Born Pink Encore concerts at the MetLife Stadium, and they flew to Los Angeles together. The picture fueled the rumors even more, but neither party addressed anything. While they weren't obligated to clarify, it was clear they were either dating or spending a lot of time together for no apparent reason. Whatever the nature of their relationship was, it was clear that they were very supportive of each other and their endeavors. When Lisa performed at Crazy Horse in Paris, Frédéric showed up with his parents and brother to support her. Over the months, the rumored couple was seen together frequently, whether that was at a restaurant in Paris, a football game, museums, shopping for expensive items, public events, banquets, and cities like Miami and Monaco. Whenever they were spotted, crowds of people and journalists would gather around them, eager to snap photos for proof of a romance between them. Despite the attention, Lisa and Frédéric appeared unfazed, acting as if they were alone and showing plenty of subtle affection for each other. For example, Frédéric would hold an umbrella over her head, loan her his loyal bodyguard, and show up to her shows and concerts. They also gave more obvious signs about the nature of their relationship, and it was related to their phone cases. It started when Frédéric posted a picture on his Instagram story where he's seen holding his phone to his ear from the time he was in Italy. The phone case is visible, and while it's obvious that there's something written on it, Frédéric made sure to cover it with a white heart. However, it was assumed that his case had Lisa written on it. In fact, it seems like the two have matching phone cases with each other's initials. On January 29th of this year, a photo of Lisa went viral online, showing her taking a selfie with dancers from her 2024 Gala des Peces Jaunes performance in France. Lisa posted a picture of the team together but cropped part of it, which didn't raise much attention. However, later on, a YGX dancer shared the uncropped version but quickly deleted it when he realized Lisa's Fredric's phone case, with the initials FA visible, was in the shot. Lisa continued posting photos with her phone case, always careful to hide the writing on it. However, in some clips or footage captured by others, the engraved FA on her case was clearly visible. Frédéric seems to also have a case featuring Lisa's initials, which has been spotted in several videos and photos. Initially, both seemed cautious about keeping these hidden, but now they appear unconcerned. In fact, they even went as far as to kiss in public, or at least it's thought so. On May 26th, Lisa and Frédéric both attended an event in Monaco, as seen in clips circulating online. Over a week after the event, a hashtag about the two went viral on Weibo. One particular video showed them dancing together and having a good time, though the original poster also claimed they were spotted kissing at the event. The video was captioned, "Expressing their love to the utmost," with a hashtag reading, "Lisa and LV's third son kissing at a banquet." The video itself is blurry though, and fans argued that it doesn't support the claim that they were kissing or the viral hashtag's meaning. Whether a kiss happened between them or not, it was argued that it wouldn't matter since the pair had made their supposed relationship clear from the very beginning. Over the months, the alleged couple interacted with each other frequently, both in public and on social media. Frédéric and the entire Arnault family have shown public support for Lisa's music, liking nearly all of her posts. In early August, they even went on a vacation together along with her. Specifically, on August 8th, Getty Images shared new pictures of the family enjoying their vacation, and even though she wasn't looking at the camera, netizens quickly recognized Lisa by her hair and style. Then, the alleged couple were spotted together once again later in the month. Lisa boarded a plane to Hawaii after she celebrated BLACKPINK's debut anniversary, and just a few days later, on August 15th, a fan took a picture of the two at a restaurant. Even though nothing particularly interesting happened on this outing, fans were still happy to see how much the two see each other every time Lisa is overseas. They also met in New York once, being pictured at a restaurant together. Despite all the sightings and outings, the supposed couple have never as much as acknowledged their relationship, let alone confirmed it. It seemed like the two operated with the mantra private but not secret. They were open about being together and didn't mind if people knew, but they didn't want anyone digging into their personal lives any further by confirming their relationship. However, this changed recently with the release of Lisa's newest song, Moonlit Floor. At the Global Citizen Festival on September 28th, she shocked the crowd by performing a song nobody had heard before, exciting everyone who was there or tuning in. Sampling Kiss Me by Sixpence None the Richer, Lisa sings to a green-eyed French boy who got her tripping and tells him to kiss her under the Paris twilight. Given that there aren't many green-eyed French guys known to be close to Lisa, fans found it safe to assume that the song might be about Frédéric. The fact that she seemingly hard-launched her relationship caused a lot of reactions. Most applauded Lisa for her bravery and openness. Being part of the world's most famous girl group, sharing something so personal couldn't have been easy for her, especially knowing that not everyone would react positively, and they didn't. Many fans have criticized Lisa's choice of partner for various reasons, primarily his looks. Some believe Frédéric doesn't fit with Lisa's image and express regret about knowing what the song is about. Tweets from fans said things like, "I was smiling too hard listening to it cause it's so good, but then I realized who it's about, and does this have a Thai version? I don't want to be able to understand this." Some fans insist that Lisa has the right to date whomever she chooses, arguing that others should either accept it or stop being fans. While it's normal for fans to have opinions about her music, it's unreasonable for them to think they can dictate her personal life or who she dates. Thankfully, Lisa doesn't seem to mind what others say about her boyfriend or how he looks. Even though these comments have been present ever since the rumors first started, Lisa continued being seen by him without giving any indication that she cared about what people thought about her, which is all that matters. However, for one idol, being in love came with a public apology. Dating has always been controversial in the K-pop industry, to the point that idols are heavily urged in hiding their romantic relationships, usually to appear as available as possible. In recent years, the reactions towards dating news have appeared to change, with fans and the public seemingly becoming more accepting. Sure, there were a few people that went crazy, but mostly people made jokes and were overall supportive. Unfortunately, it seems like crazy fans went back to their old ways once it was announced that aespa's Karina was dating actor Jaewook. On February 27th, Dispatch released an exclusive report revealing that Karina was dating the well-known actor Jaewook. According to the report, they first met at the Prada fashion show in Milan just a month prior, which is when their relationship also started. After that, they did their best to meet, although it was difficult due to their busy schedules. Since Karina is still living in aespa dorm, it was hard for them to meet up, but Karina would go to his neighborhood. The pictures that Dispatch had taken of her were actually captured near his house. An insider went as far as to say that it was love at first sight for the couple, and based on some videos released from the event, we can definitely see that. They interacted a lot as the show was going on and continued their conversation even after it ended. Jaewook was also extra careful to make Karina feel as comfortable as possible, seeing as they were the only two Korean celebrities in the front row. They also had a chance to talk at the menswear show, and Jaewook even apologized to Karina for having to leave earlier. But even with all these interactions, nobody thought that they would end up dating each other. Besides Karina being a relatively young idol, the couple had no previous rumors about them, so the announcement caught everyone off guard. Then the reactions started pouring in. At first, everyone was kind of confused on why Dispatch would release this news when it had barely been a month since they started dating. Even the responses from SM Entertainment and CJess implied that they were still technically getting to know each other, so it was weird that a media outlet would get themselves busy with a one-month relationship. But after netizens got done criticizing Dispatch, they started becoming very weird towards Karina. One day after the news was out, SM stocks fell by 3.47%. While we don't have concrete evidence linking it to the relationship, the decline occurred shortly after Dispatch's report, so it's not surprising that people connected the two. But then people started getting angry with Karina. There were boycotts, trucks, and even accusations of queerbaiting. It was quickly spiraling out of control. A Chinese fan of hers, who claimed to have spent tens of thousands of dollars on merchandise, vowed to never purchase anything related to Karina ever again in light of her dating news, which netizens claim to understand. Apparently, according to these people, willingly spending money on an idol means that you have a say in their personal life too. Chinese fans in particular didn't shy away from showing their disapproval of the relationship as they sent trucks in front of SM's building. One of the trucks asked Karina if the love that fans gave her wasn't enough and accused her of betraying them. They also demanded an apology, threatening that they wouldn't purchase any albums or concert tickets in the future. The other truck stated that she had ruined her own career with this relationship, asking her if she was satisfied with all her hard work going down the drain. The reactions got even crazier though. Former Oh My Girl member Jennie also got involved in the mess as she posted an Instagram story referencing the dating news and the commotion it caused. The caption on her story said, "Karina, Karina, Karina Nanrina," which was supposed to mean something like "there's an uproar," which is definitely something weird to post, knowing that it can get you and the idol in question in trouble. Jennie herself was an idol and probably understands how much unnecessary backlash idols get, so for her to do this was unwarranted. She and Karina aren't even close enough for her to make jokes about the situation, so this was definitely strange. On top of that, there were even rumors that Lee Jaewook left an alleged girlfriend for Karina, which only fueled the hate against her. And if you think that international fans were acting more normal, think again. Some of them were actually mad at Karina for having a boyfriend, as they thought that she was a lesbian. They accused her of queerbaiting, claiming she was acting gay just for attention. We don't even know where to start explaining just how insane it is to make assumptions about a stranger's sexuality based on basically nothing, and then get mad when these idols don't fit those assumptions. With everything that was happening, SM probably felt that they would be losing a lot of fans that would otherwise spend a lot of money on the group, so Karina apologized. On March 5th, Karina posted an apology letter to her Instagram account, and while she didn't explicitly mention the issue, she expressed remorse for letting down her fans. She wrote, "The reason that I'm writing this, even though I'm worried that I may be hurting you again, is because I want to sincerely convey how sorry I feel to the fans." In the end, she promised not to disappoint fans in the future and to show them a more hardworking, mature side. And if you thought that the dating caused an uproar, you would be surprised by the ruckus the apology itself caused. Most people felt bad that Karina had to apologize for something so normal. She was an adult, he was an adult, and the two were in a consensual relationship. It makes no sense for her to feel sorry about it just because the company felt like they would lose fans if she didn't issue an apology. The apology didn't make things easier or better for Karina though. In fact, it only managed to blow things out of proportions and make the whole situation 100 times worse. Her apology got the attention of non-K-pop fans and international media outlets, and it ended on the front page of Reddit. A user posted her apology on the Facepalm subreddit, which has more than 8 million members. The post in question got 40,000 reactions and 3,000 comments, with most expressing shock at how harsh the industry and the fans were. The matter became much bigger after BBC, CNN, and Sky News wrote articles reporting on everything, and BBC News even aired a segment about it on the news, so you can definitely say that the situation got out of hand. A Reddit user even went on to say that the news had reached the Spanish media, explaining that their mother had heard about the issue from a local news outlet, and other users commented about how the situation was reported in their country. In a more normal world, the response and the criticism should have woken everyone up and made them realize just how toxic and inhumane they were being to someone whose only crime was to date someone. But instead, Korean netizens went on to blame Karina for embarrassing their country in front of the whole world. Most of them put blame on her for posting the apology in the first place, with a netizen commenting, "I cannot understand why Karina dealt with it that way. Posting an official apology like that would just make her fans look like fools. Why humiliate your fans like that?" While calling her a national embarrassment is too much, the apology clearly didn't help anything, and the apparent reason is that by doing this, Karina gave the haters full control over the situation and lost a lot of respect in the eyes of the public. By posting an apology, she validated the feelings of all the people that went crazy when the dating news dropped, as saying sorry makes it seem like she really did something wrong. It's only going to reassure these fans that their actions and protests are normal. If she caves into every complaint and threat, what are fans going to make her apologize for next? We can't even imagine what the situation will look like if the couple breaks up, but we guess that netizens are going to accuse her of embarrassing them for a relationship that didn't last. What Karina should have done instead was write a letter acknowledging the people who have shown her support amid the controversy. On the other hand, it's insane of netizens to act like Karina wasn't in a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. If she didn't apologize, they would be saying she's shameless and that she doesn't care for her fans. This is best proven by the way they dragged Jennie into someone else's dating news, saying that she was irresponsible because she never apologized for being involved in dating rumors. But let's put ourselves in Karina's shoes for a moment. She was dating this guy for a month before she was stalked by a media outlet and had her personal life broadcasted for everyone to see. Then, her fans, who are supposed to stand by her, went on to act like the victims in the situation and make threats and random accusations. The most possible explanation for the whole mess is that she was made to post the apology by SM. The company doesn't have the best history of properly handling scandals, so it would make sense for them to ask Karina to apologize for this just so they can avoid backlash and put out the fire. But what seems to have happened is that SM miscalculated and forgot how freaking global K-pop got, and that this type of behavior will no longer be tolerated, whether it is by the majority of fans or foreign media outlets. The company has been long called out for their outdated practices on dating, so to change things around, they should have really defended Karina against all the hate and take some inspiration from Jaewook's agency that took legal action against all the malicious rumors. All in all, we hope that Karina has a good support system around her, because the way that normal news about her life has been handled by everyone is insane on all levels. But some stories run deeper and darker than fans could ever imagine. What once seemed like unconditional love was revealed to be a tragedy. Seo Taiji and Jiah's relationship is considered to be one of the darkest dating scandals in K-pop history. From how their relationship started to how it ended, it definitely caused a lot of heat among Korean netizens. It was also a massive shock for a lot of people because no one knew that these two were in a relationship until 2011, when the truth about their divorce started to come out slowly. In 2011, Korean netizens were sent into a frenzy when it was revealed that Seo Taiji and Jiah were previously married, and Jiah was seeking 5.5 billion Korean won for a divorce settlement and division of property. But let's go all the way back to the beginning. Jiah, now a very successful and respected actress, left South Korea in 1993 to travel all the way to the United States to pursue her studies. At the time Jiah left, she was 15 or 16 years old, but many reports released different claims. According to one, Jiah supposedly claimed that she was born in 1981 and not in 1978, and that she left for the States when she was in the 6th grade and lived there for around 10 years. Those reports have remained as baseless rumors though. The story of how Jiah and Taiji met was confirmed by Jiah's former agency, Key East Entertainment. The two first met in 1993 in Los Angeles when Jiah was attending the same concert as Taiji, and they were introduced to each other by an acquaintance. At that time, Jiah was 15 years old and Taiji was 21. Despite this huge and alarming age difference, the two seemed to get along well. Soon their relationship progressed as they exchanged many letters and phone calls. Because Taiji had to return back to South Korea to continue his activities as a K-pop star and Jiah stayed in the States, they decided to stay in a long-distance relationship. 3 years passed and Taiji announced that he would be temporarily retiring from the entertainment industry in 1996 and return back to the States, possibly to be with Jiah. In 1997, the couple decided to tie the knot and they got married in October of that year in Nevada. To a lot of people, this seemed like Taiji was waiting for Jiah to turn 18 years old so he could get legally married to her. Ever since their relationship was reported to the public, a lot of people expressed their disagreement with their relationship, mainly because of their age difference and the fact that they started dating when Jiah was still a minor and Taiji was already an adult. After they got married, the couple first lived in Atlanta but then moved to Arizona. Their marriage seemed idyllic at first, but it started to change just 3 years after the wedding. In 2000, Taiji decided to return back to Korea to make a comeback as a solo artist. Because of the distance and Taiji's hectic and stressful schedule, it put a definite definite end to their relationship, although they would stay married for a few years. Jiah's agency reported that Jiah, who stayed in the States while Taiji moved to Korea, decided to file for divorce in 2006, which was finalized in 2009. The reason for their divorce was stated to be Taiji's unusual and demanding job, his lifestyle, and his incompatible personality. This was the first hint towards their marriage not being so perfect. The agency stated, because Seo was a very famous celebrity, Yi could not disclose her personal story since her debut. No one knew about the relationship or marriage because both of them notoriously kept their personal lives private and hidden from the media. Not even Taiji's close friends knew about their marriage. Yang Hyun-suk, former head of YG Entertainment and a former member of Seo Taiji and Boys, allegedly had no idea about it as well. Jiah released a statement through her agency where she apologized for not being able to tell the truth sooner. She said, "I am truly sorry to everyone that I couldn't tell the truth. I had to go through quite a difficult time because of this. Although I was young, I truly loved him. I wanted to end our relationship smoothly, but we weren't able to, and I'm deeply sorry." It's not much of a stretch to say that after netizens learned about their previous relationship, they began a witch hunt on Jiah. What was especially alarming for them was how both of them managed to keep their relationship a secret for 14 years and how there was really no information about Jiah in her past. At one point, she was even nicknamed the Alien for keeping her privacy so protected. Netizens even launched a website called easier.com in hopes of finding information about her fast. Allegedly, these netizens even went as far as revealing information about Jiah's relatives. Netizens set up a website for Taiji as well called seoljinyo.com titled Requesting the Truth from Seo Taiji. The person who ran the website wrote, "As an individual who loves Seo Taiji's music and adores the singer, I hope Seo will step up himself to voice the truth and handle the matter." The situation got progressively more and more messy as new information was being released. There was a disagreement between Jiah and Taiji regarding their divorce and the time it was finalized. Since Jiah filed for the divorce in 2006 and the court decision became effective in 2009, the 3 years required for seeking alimony according to Korean law didn't expire. As mentioned before, Jiah requested 5 billion won as property settlement and 500 million won as alimony. But Taiji argued that the court decision became effective in August of 2006 and the statute of limitations has passed. It was soon revealed that Jiah decided not to go ahead with the suit, citing psychological pain as the reason. According to Jiah's lawyers, Jiah, her family, and friends were suffering mentally after Jiah's personal life was exposed. Taiji and his legal team opposed Jiah's withdrawal from the lawsuit. A representative from Taiji's company said, "Yi lodged and dropped the suit without any prior notice to Seo. He concluded that it may be possible for her to do again and that an objective truth-finding investigation should take place." Although not confirmed, it was suspected that Taiji decided to object to Jiah's withdrawal because he wanted to clarify the truth, as the rumors about the couple were getting slowly out of hand. Some people allege that the couple agreed on the withdrawal in advance, or that Taiji paid Jiah for canceling the suit. There was also a rumor that Jiah and Taiji had a child, which was at the time being raised by a third party. But it was confirmed that Jiah and Taiji never had any children together. The couple was in a legal battle for 6 months before they finally came to an agreement. Jiah's agency released a statement which read, "Seo and Yi have agreed to divorce without any monetary payment. Their marriage status had already been resolved before the lawsuit, but the two had to go through the procedure once again to prevent any legal flaws. Through the mediation, Taiji and Jiah agreed that they will not sue, slander, or engage in monetary dealings, as well as publish or release albums about their previous marriage. If any of them would release any publication regarding their marriage, they would have to pay around 200 million won as penalty for breach of contract." After that, it seemed like the conflict finally settled and both parties got the closure that they needed. 3 years after the legal matter was resolved in 2014, Jiah decided to break the silence about what it was like to be married to Taiji. This started a whole new scandal because some claims she made towards Taiji were shocking. Jiah appeared on the show Healing Camp where she shared that she had to give up a lot of things in order to be in a relationship with Taiji. Jiah said, "The love that I had chosen was one that was so secretive to the point that I could not even afford to have a squirrel catch a sighting of me. I couldn't tell anyone. I couldn't have felt any more alone." Jiah added that she got so used to being by herself that it felt like poison. That was when she realized that things had gone too far. Jiah was asked how her family reacted to her feeling so alone, which is when Jiah revealed that she didn't have any communication with her family for 7 years. Jiah continued, "I finally contacted them after about 7 years. At that time, it just had to be like that. I chose to live an abnormal life as Seo Taiji had wanted me to, and at that time, I thought I was protecting our love by doing so." Jiah also admitted that after the world found out about the relationship with Taiji, she didn't leave her house for about 4 months. She was so shocked, she often lost track of time and didn't eat much. The things Jiah shared on Healing Camp gained a lot of attention, which then resulted in many rumors circulating online. It didn't sit well with Taiji, who released his own statement regarding the situation through his agency. The statement said, "Regarding E's comments about Seo, they weren't true at all and rumors are surfacing. Taiji then debunked Jiah's claims that she didn't see her family for 7 years by stating that they had both of their parents' permission to get married. According to Taiji, their families were well aware of their marriage. He also stated that when they were married, they used to travel, go shopping, and explore the city just like any other couple, which didn't line up with what Jiah had said about spending all of her time indoors. Their closest family and friends knew about the relationship, but they decided not to make it public to the media. Taiji admitted that he felt some responsibility for their shared past, but added that facts shouldn't be manipulated or distorted. Their relationship was truly a roller coaster. But while some scandals explode publicly, others stay hidden in plain sight. Idols might appear single and devoted to fans, but the reality is far more complex. Over the years, from first-generation idols to today's rising stars, they've mastered the art of keeping relationships hidden. So how do they meet, stay in touch, and date without raising any suspicion? Dating remains a sensitive topic in the K-pop industry, with idols often facing intense scrutiny. Although the backlash against idols and romantic relationships used to be a lot harsher in the past, not much has improved over time as public reactions still explode whenever a couple is exposed. Companies, however, seem to understand they can't completely forbid young, attractive people from being in relationships. Instead, they permit dating but impose strict secrecy on idols, ensuring relationships stay hidden from the public eye. In fact, that seems to have been a rule in SM entertainment for a while now. Actress Lee Yeon-hee shared that while there wasn't a strict dating ban at her company, the unspoken rule was simple: don't get caught. Jessica, a former Girls' Generation member, also mentioned that being honest with the staff about relationships made things easier. In such cases, the staff even supported idols, helping them keep things discreet. However, hiding relationships or creating complications for the company could backfire. If something went wrong or the relationship became public, it would be harder for the company to step in and assist. So while many assume idols simply don't have time to date, the truth is they're remarkably skilled at keeping their love lives private. This leaves people wondering how they pull it off so successfully despite the intense scrutiny they face. They're trailed by sasaengs, closely watched by managers and staff, and easily recognized by the public. Yet some idols maintain long-term relationships without anyone noticing. First, let's talk about how the way they get in contact with each other. One method of doing this that went viral a few years ago was the Inkigayo sandwiches. In a 2018 episode of SBS's We Will Channel You, former Big Bang member Seungri revealed that when artists promote on Inkigayo, they're not allowed to eat in the waiting rooms, so they usually gather at the cafeteria on the 4th floor of the building. Seungri went on to explain that idols have a discreet method for sharing contact details. While they're all gathered together in this room, they place their phone number inside the sandwich's plastic wrap and hand it over to their crush. Another way of giving out their contact number is through signed albums. As you might know, junior groups often visit their senior idols' dressing rooms to say hello and give them their signed albums. However, this isn't just a friendly gesture. It's sometimes a way for idols to connect with those they like. Jiah from Loveless shared that once another idol dropped by and gave one of the members a signed CD claiming to be a fan. But when she looked closer, she found his phone number written inside the album. Another method for idols to get in contact with each other is through the staff. For example, celebrity couple Wonbin and Lee Na-young were introduced to each other through their mutual stylist, and now they have been married for over a decade. Even Girls' Day Hyeri shared that one way for idols to reach out to their crush is through hair and fashion stylists who have worked with both people. However, now with the rise of social media, and now that idols have their own social media accounts, they can just contact each other through direct messages on Instagram. This makes it safer for them to talk freely without the fear of being spotted by staff, managers, or every other idols. You might be wondering how they're even reaching out to each other, considering most idols aren't allowed to have phones. Well, former Blady member Tina revealed that many idols secretly buy a second phone for dating, keeping it hidden from their managers. Some even use iPads or tablets. She also mentioned that some idols rely on email to communicate for dating, but it's not ideal since responses can be slow. Now that they have come into contact with each other, where do they meet up? Well, according to Super Junior's Heechul, they go to desolate cafes in Cheongdam-dong and Nonhyun-dong. Apparently, the Han River was also once a go-to spot for quiet dates, with hardly anyone around at night. But when fans and the media began hanging out there, hoping to see idols, they had to stop visiting. Some idols have shared that couples sometimes meet during music shows, as there are areas where they can avoid being seen and caught. Idols also hang out at restaurants, which might seem odd since you would think they would want to avoid crowded places. celebrities. That's why they prefer privately owned spots. Hong Suk-chun, a star restaurateur, once disclosed that his Itaewon restaurants are often visited by well-known faces seeking a little privacy. He said that when idols visit, they're given the top floor for privacy, and sometimes even extra measures are taken based on their fame. Hong Suk-chun also revealed that when it's time for the idols to leave, the staff carefully spaces out their departure times to reduce the chances of them being spotted. In fact, some idols actually choose busy places for dates because the large crowds make it less likely they will be recognized. Rainbow's Jaekyung appeared in a 2018 Radio Star episode where she let the viewers know that she goes on dates to Korean palaces since they're a popular tourist attractions. For an extra layer of privacy, she would wear hanboks since everyone would also be wearing one, and so nobody would pay any close attention to her. Speaking of disguises, that also seems to be a popular method for idols to go unnoticed in public, especially when they're on dates with their significant others. Super Junior's Heechul once shared that when he was a trainee, he was in a relationship with a famous celebrity. While he was relatively unknown at the time, his girlfriend wasn't, so they needed to come up with a way to hang out in public without being noticed. So Heechul came up with a clever idea: cross-dress. Wearing a women's wig and a dress, he said that he went out on his date and held hands with his girlfriend in public and no one noticed. In Korea, it's common for girls, even just friends, to hold hands, so Heechul took advantage of this cultural custom to keep their relationship a secret. While not technically a K-pop idol, Daigo Nishihata, a member of the Japanese idol group Naniwa Danshi, did the same thing when he was allegedly dating Kaho Adachi, an announcer 2 years his junior. A media source reported that he spent the night with the announcer and was later seen wearing a women's wig, bucket hat, and mask to hide his identity. Blackpink's Rosé seems to have used a similar method. Ever since she left YG Entertainment, Rosé has been very open about her love life and her toxic relationship with her ex-boyfriend, whether that's through interviews or her music. However, her stories about her former relationship have confused people to no end. How come one of the most popular members of the biggest K-pop girl group dated someone for years without ever being noticed or spotted? Well, Rosé was so discreet that no one even realized it was her walking down the street. In an interview with Capital, Rosé said that she used to disguise herself when going on, explaining, "I dressed up as a granny. I got like a wig and a granny hat. I used to study what people wore outside, and I used to buy it online, like on eBay and stuff, and I would like sneak out." However, if the idols can't be bothered to put on disguises or figure out in which private place to meet up, then they settle for having dates in their cars or their own apartments, especially if they live alone. In fact, netizens often joke that an idol's relationship status can be guessed by whether they have a driver's license. While owning a car or having a license doesn't necessarily mean an idol is dating, it's often considered a sign by fans. A license allows them to travel on their own, making it easier to date without manager supervision. Hwang Kwang-hee, a former Jiah member, even confirmed the car equals dating idea. On an episode of SBS's Strong Heart in 2012, he shared his belief that idols get cars purely for dating. He even recalled a story saying that he went on a car date with a girl group member at the Han River where he noticed many foreign cars, which he assumed were other celebrities on secret dates. Kwang-hee turned out to be right, as he spilled that once he got into a minor accident with one of those cars, only to find out that both the driver and passenger were celebrities. It's because of this widespread belief, though, that many idols even avoid mentioning they have a driver's license or car in fear of fans thinking that they're in a relationship. ATEEZ's Hong Jong once told fans that he considered not revealing the fact that he has a driver's license as he was worried they wouldn't like it. While the belief may or may not be true, it's clear that idols often resort to meeting up with their significant others in cars as the safest option. Some years ago, former Finkel member Legion admitted she used to have a ton of secret car dates with her boyfriend. After her manager dropped her off, she would sneak into her boyfriend's car instead of going straight home just to spend time with him. Similarly, Moon Hee-jun from the legendary group H.O.T. used to go on many car dates with his girlfriend. He even customized his car for their convenience, adding a foldable dining table behind the front seats that could be lowered with just a few button presses. He also installed a projector so they could enjoy movies together while in the car. The definition of if he wanted to, he could. To Anyone's Dara too has been very open about her many car dates. On the show Sisters, she shared a story about her former boyfriend, revealing that she was introduced to a younger celebrity by a friend back in 2011. Since sliding into each other's DMs wasn't an option, they had to find another way to arrange a date. So Dara ended up parking her car near a hair salon in Cheongdam-dong near SM's building and had a date with the celebrity there. Sis stars Soyu and soloist Son Dambi also discussed the idea of car dates with the latter, noting that many couples like to date near the Han River, while Soyu recalled witnessing a female celebrity get out of her car, followed closely by a male celebrity. When going out becomes too risky, idols often choose to stay in. For those who live alone, it's easier to invite their partner over and avoid the chance of being caught outside. At home, there's no worry about running into other idols or strangers, and they can show affection freely. This way, they can enjoy their time together without the fear of ending up on Dispatch's front page the next morning with thousands of netizens expressing their disapproval. So despite some claiming progress, the reality for idols who want to have normal lives and relationships remains as harsh as ever. True acceptance from the public seems like a distant dream, leaving them to navigate secretive relationships in the shadows of fan expectations. Thankfully, over the years, it seems like they have figured out ways to go unnoticed, but just the fact they have to go to these lengths is truly devastating. And occasionally, the line between fan and lover gets crossed.
Dating your celebrity crush may not be as far-fetched as you think. From meeting them at concerts to running into them accidentally, there have been some K-pop idols who have turned the fans' improbable idea of dating them into their reality. N.Flang's Kwangjin. The cast of N.Flang's former member Kwangjin is a heavier one, so be cautious. In December of 2018, an online community user accused Kwangjin of some horrible stuff. They said, since his debut, he dated fans by seducing them, attacking them, bad-mouthing his members and company to fans, and said things like, I don't want to be a singer, I'd rather go to the army, or the bass is convenient because I only need to move my fingers around. They also claim that Kwangjin told a fan that some girls are meant to go to the brothels, which shocked the netizens since these are not words that a regular person would use, let alone a public figure. But then he was accused of even more horrible stuff by the netizens. They wrote, around last winter, Kwan, who was not even my bias, kept flirting with me at fan sign events, asking me out and telling me not to date my boyfriend. During one fan sign, the tables were set particularly close. He was saying, let's be in a fake relationship, and then he said, no, let's be in a real relationship instead, and while he was saying this, he locked my knees between his legs and bounced them. However, Kwangjin strongly denied the accusations that he had hurt women and touched them without their consent, but confirmed that he had dated a fan in the past. In response, FNC Entertainment, Kwangjin's agency, said, we additionally confirmed the fact of him dating a fan, so we have made the final decision for Kwangjin to leave the team. However, he is strongly denying accusations of harassment. He ended up leaving the group and the company, but explained what had really happened 3 years later after the incident. In December of 2021, he took to his personal Instagram and YouTube channel to announce that he was free from all the speculations that had risen against him and explained what had gone on at the time. According to him, he had left the group because he was dating a fan, but then others started accusing him of doing horrible stuff because they couldn't accept that Kwangjin was dating someone who wasn't them. He said, I left the group because I got a girlfriend. Because my girlfriend was a fan, many fans requested for my removal from the group, so I left. During my departure from the group, speculations arose that I physically hurt fans, but they are all false information. Kwangjin said that he had spent the last 4 years taking legal action against the accuser and had won in the end as he was cleared of all accusations. He ended up tying the knot to his girlfriend the same year. Day 6's Junhyuk. Newer K-pop fans might not be aware of this, but Day 6 actually used to have 6 members, hence the name. In addition to the 5 members everyone knows, the band actually debuted with an additional member named Junhyuk, who was a vocalist and keyboardist for the group. However, he ended up leaving not long after Day 6 debuted, and even though the company stated personal reasons as to why he left, there were rumors that it was because he was dating a fan. According to the rumors, the fan used to be a Wonpil fan and attended every performance and fan meet in order to meet her bias, but she didn't have any interest in Junhyuk at first. That ended up changing later. Other fans started getting suspicious when she started posting about the boy's private schedule on Twitter and said that she was aware of it because she had close ties to JYP staff. The two also started posting matching pictures on their Instagram accounts, and she would tag the locations. Day 6 were still rookies, and even though they were from a big 3 company, their popularity didn't come close to the groups that debuted at the same time. When the rumors started circulating online, the girl that Junhyuk was supposedly dating came out to deny that the two were more than just friends. She said, we just knew each other's faces. When they debuted, I was the first one to contact. That was when we became Facebook friends. I gained a lot of interest as a Day 6 fan, and we talked about their performances. She went on to explain the similar Instagram posts between the two. The photos and the posts that are very controversial now, I uploaded them with the childish thought of boasting that I am a close friend of Day 6 member and not because I am in any relationship with that person. There were even rumors that she leaked messages of Junhyuk saying that he loved her and that he'd leave the band for her, but so far nothing has been confirmed. The fans' explanation did nothing to fix things though. Junhyuk's fan sites were closing down one by one, and that small popularity Day6 had was because of the scandal, so JYP had to take action to fix the situation. Due to JYP's strict dating policy, which forbids idols from dating until they're 3 years into their career, Junhyuk had to leave the band. Whether he was kicked out by the company or decided to leave on his own is unknown. SES's Shu. Not only did Shu date someone who was her fan, but the two actually ended up getting married. In an interview for SBS's roommate, Shu's husband, Im Hyo-sung, revealed that his celebrity crush had always been Shu. He said, "Though I never had a favorite singer, Shu was always my favorite celebrity. I had her picture in the locker room and told myself that I would marry her one day. She was my motivation to become a professional basketball player." Luckily for him, Shu was the friend of his close friend's girlfriend, so he fully took advantage of the acquaintance. Shu's first impression of him were quite different though, as she said, "He didn't seem like a basketball player. He was quiet and had glasses on. We were drinking wine with some of our friends when we first met, and that day we only greeted each other." The two started off as friends, and even though Shu turned him down, he still wasn't discouraged. She said, "At first, we were just friends. He used to take care of my meals because he was worried I might not eat. Even when I turned him down, he didn't stop taking care of me." Talk about being a successful fan. Seo Taiji. If you didn't know, Seo Taiji used to be married to Jiah, who got attention for her role in the SBS K-drama Penthouse. What's even more surprising is that Jiah used to be a fan of Seo Taiji before they started dating, but the whole thing was nothing but ideal. They met when Jiah went to his concert in LA as a fan when she was only 16 and Seoul was 21, but the relationship wasn't perfect. Jiah hadn't entered the industry at the time, so the relationship was even more taboo since she was younger and also a non-celebrity who was dating one of the biggest artists in Korea. Because of this, she tried very hard to keep their relationship a secret. When Taiji moved back to the States, the two started living together, but during this time period, Jiah isolated herself and cut off contact with her friends and acquaintances so they could protect their relationship. They got married in 1997 in the United States, but because of his job, Taiji had to move around a lot, and this made things a lot harder for Jiah. He moved back to Korea in 2000, but it wasn't enough to save their relationship as Jiah filed for divorce in 2006. There was a pretty lengthy legal battle that took place between the two before they reached a settlement in court in 2011. The two officially divorced then and moved on with their lives, assured that this was settled without anyone knowing about it. In fact, they were so good at keeping the relationship a secret that the public didn't find out about it until after they were divorced, and Jiah started dating Jung Woo-sung publicly. In April of 2011, Sports Seoul and numerous other media outlets broke the story that the two had been secretly married, as Jiah had filed a lawsuit against her former husband, which shocked the public in ways that they didn't expect. The two went back and forth speaking out against each other publicly and refuting each other's claims. Jiah talked about how stressful the whole relationship had been and how keeping it hidden from everyone she knew only added to the stress. She said, "The love that I had chosen was one that was secretive to the point that I could not even afford to have a squirrel catch a sighting of me. I couldn't have felt any more alone. It eventually reached a point where I became used to being by myself, and I realized this was poison to me. That was when it had gone too far." Taiji said that the claims were untrue and that their parents and friends were aware of their relationship. The public feud stopped when the two reached a settlement in July of 2011. However, Jiah's career suffered greatly because of it. Once the news broke out, she was pulled from various endorsements and halted all activities for the time being. Thankfully, her career picked up after the public came to her support and greatly criticized Taiji for putting such a burden on her when she was so young. Zexki's Songhoon. The fan club president of Zexki's Songhoon turned fans' dreams into a reality when she was rumored to be dating Songhoon himself. The members of Songhoon's fan club, Hooni World, started noticing that Songhoon might be dating their leader. There were rumors that the two had been spotted together for Songhoon's family events like weddings. In addition to that, the company name for the fan club, Forever 2228, is a combination of the two's birthdays. There were also claims that the alleged girlfriend was spotted in his hotel room during an Instagram live where she was caught on camera only for a brief moment. After the rumor started spreading, Songhoon got criticized thoroughly because the fan club was already involved in controversy due to the poor management, so Songhoon had to respond to the rumors. He said, "About the recent girlfriend rumor, I will say rumor is a rumor. I don't think I need to explain further. It isn't worth mentioning, and I want you all to stop reading too much into it. The rumors were never confirmed, so I guess we'll never know what happened, but many people believe he's dating the president of his fan club."
And sometimes it's not about idols dating fans, it's about relationships that could destroy careers.
While the world has been progressively changing their views on gay relationships, the same cannot be said about the world of idols. So in today's video, we'll take a closer look at two popular male singers who were rumored to be dating and how it almost ruined their career. always hiding. Maintaining a relationship is extremely difficult on its own, but it's even harder when it involves two people of the same sex. The K-pop industry sees a dozen dating scandals a year, but the most shocking one was definitely the dating scandal of Soohyun from U-Kiss and Jeokwon from 2AM, who experienced something extremely traumatic back in 2008. There's almost no space for love in the world of Korean idols in general, but there's absolutely no space for love if the male idol's partner isn't a woman. The only thing gay idols can unfortunately do is hide their relationship. This could also be the case of Soohyun and Jeokwon, but their story is a bit darker. Even though they both denied ever being in a relationship, denial can sometimes be a defense mechanism and no one can really know the truth except for them. But it's a well-known fact that Soohyun and Jeokwon's friendship dates back to their training years, the most vulnerable time before debut. I mean, it's just a theory, but I don't think it sounds impossible for them to have developed a relationship during their difficult times, especially with how close they seem to have been until the rumors suddenly blew up. On the other hand, I think the boys would have a really hard time hiding their relationship and sexuality, since it's a well-known fact that agencies are not really fond of trainees who are open about their sexualities. Take Killian's story as an example, who was kicked out from JYP Entertainment after they found out about his relationship with another boy and decided it was unacceptable and that he needed to go. Killian stated, "I like boys, but Koreans were very conservative about homosexuality at that time, so in the end, they asked me to leave because of it." Killian further explained that he was caught dating a fellow trainee under JYP Entertainment, which made the agency extremely angry. For Killian, being a trainee was a way to achieve his dreams, but the agency saw it as a huge risk to have a trainee that likes boys. Killian also noted that the fact that he was not from South Korea played a huge factor in the agency's decision and his departure as well. So, I mean, it kind of splits up from here. Either Soohyun and Kwon are literally soulmates and nothing else, or they started dating at a different time, or they didn't date at all, although the love letters they sent to each other seemed kind of suspicious. So what really happened between them, and why was it so terrifying? Destructive rumors. Soohyun and Jeokwon were extremely close friends since they debuted, and their friendship was emphasized even on their individual homepages, where they shared a lot of pictures and additional proofs of their friendship. It might have been exactly this that pushed the netizens to believe that they were in a romantic relationship, but their private letters definitely sparked the actual flame of this rumor. Since it was so long ago, all the posts with the original speculations and proofs are already deleted. According to the netizens though, Soohyun and Jeokwon were caught in an intimate relationship after some love letters and messages exchanged between them hit the internet back in 2008. These messages allegedly revealed their feelings towards each other and how they desired to eat, sleep, live, and lay together. I mean, I guess you know what that last thing means. The messages contained phrases like, "I wish you were always with me. I'm really going to. I want to live with you. I want to eat with you and lie with you. Sigh. And my love, Soohyun, I really like you." Obviously, there's really no way to prove that these messages are truly real, but it was a huge deal 13 years ago, mainly because boy and boy relationships were more stigmatized and taboo. I can't even imagine how it must have been like for these two once the rumors started to circulate the online world. It actually wasn't until 2010 when Soohyun decided to speak up about the controversy from 2008. During one interview, Soohyun opened up, saying that the scandal with Kwon surprised him. He also revealed, "We got to know each other when we met as JYP trainees. I shared a friendship with all trainees, not just Kwon, especially Beast's Ki Kwon and Dongwon. Now that I read the messages we shared over, I suppose we were a little harsh, but those are all memories and it doesn't matter because I don't like men anyways." Kibum, who was also part of the interview, recalled, "After the news came out, these two met during Music Bank. Suddenly, Jeokwon said to Soohyun, 'Let's not be friends anymore,' as a joke." Soohyun ended the interview with a smile and said, "Truthfully, I'm very grateful for Kwon. Our scandal made my name reach #1 on various search engines." Although Soohyun denied his interest in men, the speculations about Jeokwon's sexuality have been going around ever since, and they still appear even nowadays for various reasons. I mean, back in 2013, Jeokwon was photographed in front of a gay bar in Thailand. The photo was taken by someone visiting the same club, and the netizens pointed out that it's not really a big deal. Gay clubs are actually really popular in Thailand for their cabaret performances in their gay bar, so it is possible that Jeokwon went there just for the cultural experience. And when Jeokwon was accused of visiting several gay clubs in Itaewon during the pandemic outbreak in 2020, Kwon's response was definitely interesting. It seemed like he was more angry at the person accusing him of going out during the pandemic rather than suspecting him of visiting a gay bar. Kwon replied to the comment, "I have been keeping my patience, but it seems like you want me to explain every single thing. Are you happy that I replied to your comments? I didn't go to clubs. I watched The World of the Married at my home." A lot of people think that the reason Jeokwon hasn't come out yet is because of how risky and destructive it would be to his career. Although Jeokwon has acknowledged the rumors about his sexuality, he didn't outright deny them. He said he's aware of the rumors but doesn't care either way because it's who he is, and also said he was simply born that way and that he's doing his best with what he's been given. Although Soohyun and Jeokwon were able to move on from these rumors fairly smoothly, it wasn't the same for Daewoo from AB6. Daewoo has been really popular since his days in 101, and fans have been on his back about his sexuality basically since day one, mainly because Daewoo doesn't fit the muscular macho type of man and has softer, more feminine features. Unfortunately, the rumors and assumptions got so bad that 2 years ago, Dewi had to set the record straight himself on the show Radio Star. Dewi began with, "I've received a lot of malicious comments since a long time ago. I used to get hurt a lot before because it wasn't long since I had debuted, but these days I started clicking report on malicious comments myself. I figured it was a solution because I expected that these people didn't just harm me but harmed other artists as well. I decided not to take a lenient stand on this anymore." When Dewi was asked which rumors make him most outraged, he admitted that the ones about his sexuality based on the way he speaks and the way he behaves makes him seriously angry. Dewi shared, "The most outrageous rumor came about because I have aegyo in my voice. They'd say I have a girly personality, so I had to like men. I was angry when I heard these rumors because I have my own ideal type." Later on, Dewi also talked about how he wants to start dating and get married in the near future. He claimed it was his duty to get married and have children as he needs to continue his family line, simply because he is an only child. What took me by surprise is what Dewi said in the end. "I don't plan on dating if my fans don't like it though. I mean, I guess it's his decision, but shouldn't we as fans simply respect idols doing such ordinary things like dating? Here's a reminder not to assume idols' sexualities, at least not to the point where it publicly affects them. Better days are coming." Let me end this video on a brighter note because I know these topics can be pretty heavy. Since the society is becoming more open towards same-sex couples and the taboo is slowly breaking, even in South Korea, there are some idols who are not afraid to show that their sexuality is simply not straight. The most famous gay icon of South Korea is obviously Holland, but there are also other idols who have come out to be in a relationship with the same sex. In January of 2020, a former member of the group What's Up Jiah announced that she was bisexual on her Instagram and that she also had a girlfriend. She then posted a picture on her Instagram story captioned, "I have a lovely girlfriend, so happy," quickly followed by a post captioned, "Love is love." Soon after Jiah posted a picture of herself with her girlfriend, Jiah made headlines for revealing the truth. Jiah opened up about her sudden fame on her Instagram story and said, "It's an utterly personal issue, so I wonder why dating someone, either a man or woman, is such big news. I do understand where this is coming from, but at the same time, it's still surprising. Thank you for giving me more attention than when I debuted. I hope that Jiah and her girlfriend will stay together for a long time." Just a few weeks ago, in November of 2021, the K-pop industry saw something never done before. Lionesses, the first openly LGBTQ+ boy group, made their official debut. When asked about what message they hope to convey, the members said, "We hope to play the role of a lighthouse so that young LGBTQ+ people who dream of becoming musicians don't miss their shot due to their fear." The group said they plan on emphasizing queer acceptance in their music, and while they acknowledge that South Korea has made some progress in terms of LGBTQ+ acceptance, there is still a lot of work to do. Definitely make sure to check out their debut single, Show Me Your Pride, which hopes to inspire other LGBTQ+ Koreans to find their own joy and happiness.
And not every relationship ends quietly. Some leave behind devastating questions. The passing of Kim Sung-jae raises a wave of questions even 26 years after it happened. A tragedy in its true meaning, Kim Sung-jae's life was cut short out of nowhere, seemingly for no reason. As we dive deeper into the case, it becomes more and more apparent who is responsible for his unexpected farewell. But even after 2 decades, there still hasn't been any justice served, and that's the reason why this case is so twisted. Before we get into what really happened between November 19th and November 20th in 1995, let's talk about Kim Sung-jae and what he achieved through his short but successful life and why this case was so big. Sung-jae was born on April 18th, 1972, and he got everything that it takes to be a true all-rounder in K-pop. Not only was he a great singer and rapper, he had developed some incredible dancing skills too, and he was also a part-time model, which isn't surprising considering how great he looked. Sung-jae shone the most as a member of Deuce, a first-generation K-pop and hip-hop group that gained the most success and prominence in the early 90s. Deuce consisted of Kim Sung-jae and Lee Hyun-do, and they debuted in 1993. Deuce was considered to be one of the most influential groups of the 90s. Not only did they introduce hip-hop music to the Korean audience, they also attracted a lot of attention because of their dance and style. Their fan base was growing each day, and they were on their way to become the biggest K-pop act of that era. Unfortunately, in 1995, Deuce suddenly disbanded as the members couldn't agree artistically anymore and decided to pursue solo careers instead. Sung-jae made his solo debut on November 19th, 1995 by releasing the song As I Told You. I'm sure many of you might know this song because a lot of K-pop groups have covered this song at some point in their careers. The most prominent cover of As I Told You is the one BTS did in 2016. For most idols, their debut day is the happiest of their lives. For Kim Sung-jae though, this day would become his last. Life cut short. Kim Sung-jae had his solo debut with As I Told You at Music Bank on November 19th, 1995. As told by Greasy TV on YouTube, he arrived at a hotel along with his manager, 2 foreign backup dancers, 4 Korean backup dancers, and lastly, his girlfriend. When these people
people were interrogated later on, they all claimed that they just hung out in the common room and had a couple of beers together. After a while, around 1 a.m., all the backup dancers called it a night and went to their respective rooms. Sungjae's manager also decided to head to bed, so then it was only Kim Sungjae and his girlfriend left alone in the living room. There's an important fact to remember that will explain a lot of things later in the story. It's known that before the manager went to sleep, he turned on the dryer. Now, this type of dryer will automatically turn off after 2 hours and 15 minutes. Around 6 a.m., the manager went to the living room and saw Kim Sungjae still asleep on the couch, or so he thought. At first, after the manager tried to wake him up and failed, the manager didn't think much of it. It could have been because the singer had been preparing for his solo stage extremely hard and was just exhausted, right? Well, not really. The manager tried to wake him up again, and this time, he started to think that something was wrong. That's when the manager also realized the dryer was still running, even though it should have stopped around 3 a.m. The manager went back to check on the singer once again, and that's when he realized that the singer wasn't breathing, it was unresponsive. On November 20th, Kim Sungjae was pronounced. Mind you, he was just 23 years old. But what truly happened? Did he pass away naturally, or was it under the hands of someone else? That's where things get messy. All signs point to her. At first, Sungjae's passing was ruled as cardiac arrest. Since he had a pretty large fan base, rumors started to spread around quickly. Some people claimed that the singer was actually addicted to substances and he simply overdosed, which was following the rumors about the singer being a drug addict from the beginning of his career. There have even been rumors that Kim Sungjae took his own life, but this has quickly been proven as false. According to the singer's mother, Kim Sungjae was really excited about his solo career. He had good connections with his friends and family and even promised to his mother to see her after he debuts. Of course, it's still possible for a person to take their own life even though they seem perfectly fine, but this wasn't Kim Sungjae's case. Then the results of the autopsy and toxicology report came in. Kim Sungjae had 28 needle marks in his right arm. This could still mean that Kim Sungjae overdosed, right? But he didn't. The toxicology report took a while to arrive because the professionals couldn't identify the substance in his body. After a while, it was revealed that animal sedatives such as animal anesthesia and animal euthanizer were the unknown substances. It's also rumored that the reason why the toxicology report took a while longer to be done than the autopsy is because it was actually the first time someone had been killed by the usage of animal sedatives and animal euthanizer in South Korea. Now it was obvious that Sungjae didn't pass away due to natural reasons. So who was the one behind it? Well, there's only one person that was with the singer at the time of his last breath. Because of the placement of the needle shots in Kim Sungjae's arms, it was obvious that someone had to inject those needles into him. It would be really tricky and difficult for Kim Sungjae to do it to himself, mainly because he was right-handed and usually your opposite hand is the weaker one. It would be hard for him to find the right veins to inject the substances into as well. But do you know who was very skilled with needles? Kim Sungjae's girlfriend. To this day, we don't know what her name is for sure, although it was speculated her name could be Kim Yoo-sun. It's reported that his girlfriend was a medical student, so she must have had a good knowledge of the human body, which would also explain the 28 needle marks, as she was likely aware that she needed to inject little by little since substances like these can clog up the human veins. A witness later came in to report that they sold Sungjae's girlfriend those animal sedatives and euthanizer. This witness also shared that Sungjae's girlfriend told them not to tell the police she bought those drugs from them if they ever asked. This is going to sound insane, but allegedly his girlfriend previously killed her own dog and replaced it with the same breed to see if those drugs really work. She sounds like a psychopath, which she might as well be considering the way she acted towards Kim Sungjae throughout their relationship. It has been reported by many people that Sungjae and his girlfriend had a pretty rocky relationship. At some point, she allegedly went on stage during one of his concerts and screamed at the fans, "Leave my boyfriend alone." Whenever Sungjae's fans would approach him, his girlfriend would throw a fit and would do everything she could to stop them. His girlfriend was also a borderline stalker, as she always contacted his friends to find out what Sungjae was doing. She also apparently fired a gas gun towards Kim Sungjae's face and actually shot him the night before he was supposed to leave for the US. On one instance, Sungjae allegedly got really drunk and his girlfriend got mad at him for drinking, and so while he was sleeping, she actually tied him to the bed with duct tape. It was also said that Sungjae actually broke up with his girlfriend before he went to the US, so maybe she did all of this to get back at him for breaking her heart? Now let's talk about the dryer again. Remember how the manager noticed the dryer was still running at 6 a.m. even though it should have stopped sometime around 3 a.m.? Well, it's believed that before Sungjae's girlfriend left the hotel room at 3:30 a.m., she turned the dryer on. No one knows why, but investigators had played with the possibility of her turning it on to drown out any sounds as she mercilessly took Sungjae's life. I've already mentioned before that the cause of the passing was concluded as cardiac arrest. At some point, although it's not clear when or why, his autopsy was changed and the cause of the passing was concluded as something else because once all the evidence started to pop up, his girlfriend actually went and requested for the cause of passing to be changed back to cardiac arrest.
Allegedly, she also tried to bribe the police with money to stop them from examining Sungjae's body completely. Definitely suspicious. The police also did a really bad job at investigating the crime scene and looking for more clues. There was CCTV around the hotel, but the police made zero effort to check the footage. When Sungjae's mother was asked to come and identify the body, she noticed something that didn't sit right with her. She said that no matter the time or place, Sungjae always took off his makeup before going to sleep. But when she went to identify him, she noticed that his hair was still done and he still had a lot of makeup on. This seemingly unimportant detail defines the timeline of Sungjae's passing a little more. There's a high chance that Sungjae was attacked before he even managed to go to bed. Sungjae's girlfriend didn't even try hard enough to hide any evidence, and so it came as no surprise that at first, she was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison for the murder of Kim Sung-jae, though no one was prepared for what came next. The unexpected twist. During the first trial, the girlfriend was sentenced to life in prison, but that would soon change. Over the course of the second and third trial, his girlfriend was actually found not guilty. Despite all the evidence pointing towards her, the court said that there was actually a lack of evidence that would directly point towards Sung-jae's girlfriend. How could they possibly think that it was someone else when she was the one who purchased those sedatives, not to mention that she was a medical student and she was so possessive over him? She was really like, if I can't have him, then no one can. But unfortunately, she took it too far. The court also argued that the amount of the sedative she purchased was not actually enough to kill Sung-jae. The witness, who at first reported that they sold the sedatives to Sung-jae's girlfriend, later changed their testimony and claimed that they actually didn't remember anything. The reason why it suddenly took such a sudden and strange turn could be the background of Sung-jae's girlfriend. Apparently, someone in her family had a political background, and although it's not known who exactly, it wouldn't be that strange for her to pay her lawyers, the officials, and even the court to overturn the verdict. It wouldn't be the first time someone used their wealth and power to their advantage so they didn't have to face the consequences of their actions. Her lawyer also argued that she did indeed buy those animal sedatives, but they were for her own use as she intended to take her own life, but decided not to go through with it at the last second. I mean, this just sounds super sketchy. Their relationship was also painted in a completely different light. Apparently, they were super happy together and there was no conflict going on between them. Her defense team also tried to throw the blame on one of the foreign backup dancers. Their story was that one of the dancers felt negative emotions towards Sung-jae and they just couldn't hold in their anger anymore. It does look a little suspicious considering that they allegedly left to go back to the States just a day after, but there's still way more evidence pointing towards the girlfriend than to the backup dancers. What's also incredibly frustrating about this whole case is the way that the law system works in South Korea. If a person had been previously charged but later was acquitted, they cannot be charged again even if they are found guilty after some time. Obviously, Sung-jae's passing made headlines all over South Korea and a lot of people were absolutely devastated. Understandably so, especially when in the end no one seemed to be responsible for his death. After some time, Sung-jae's case went cold and it would always pop up just for a little while. That was until 2019, when the woman who Sung-jae once called his girlfriend started to look even more suspicious. Fighting for justice. Fast forward to the present. It's said that Sung-jae's girlfriend changed her name and underwent numerous plastic surgeries to change her appearance. She's also been working at a dentist clinic along with her husband and is living lavishly, while Sung-jae's family, and especially his brother, are still fighting to get Sung-jae the justice he deserves. Back in December of 2019, an episode of SBS's Unanswered Questions regarding Sung-jae's passing was supposed to air. Turns out a court order actually prevented the broadcast from airing. Sung-jae's brother, Kim Sung-wook, shared, "I don't understand the court's decision. We don't want to punish anyone, but want to know the truth about what happened that day. The biggest reason is that my mom should know the truth about what happened. It's her only wish." Kim Sung-wook has been fighting for his brother ever since Sung-jae passed, and it doesn't seem like he will ever stop, even though everything has seemed to be against him. The reason why the episode about Sung-jae wasn't aired is because of Sung-jae's girlfriend, now going by Mrs. Kim, filed a provisional injunction to forbid the broadcast. Back then, the court ruled, "It is difficult to say that this is a broadcast made solely for the public interest. There is a risk that it could cause irreparable damage to Mrs. Kim's character and honor." The production staff of Unanswered Questions expressed their deep regret at the ban, but complied with the court ruling nonetheless. There wasn't much that they could do anyways. The production staff said, "This episode tackled an unsolved case that has many unanswered questions and in which the public has a high level of interest. It was an opportunity to interview experts of newly developed scientific techniques that may have shed some light on the case, and we spent 5 months researching and collecting material for the story." Skipping a few months to December of 2019, SBS tried to air the episode of Unanswered Questions once again, but was blocked from doing so for the second time, and it was once again because of Mrs. Kim. The court accepted Mrs. Kim's request for injunction and said, "The previous broadcast and this broadcast differ in reasoning only, but in the end, they both suggest that the filer of the injunction might have committed
The court also determined that the broadcast contains information which hasn't been confirmed, such as that Mrs. Kim injected Sungjae with magnesium sulfate and that she has actually purchased more of the animal sedatives than it was said before. Unanswered questions responded to the court ruling. We respect the decision of the court, but we are deeply frustrated. So long as we continue to receive information on the case, we will continue to look further into the matter. My heart goes out to Sungjae's family, who've been looking for answers for 26 years without much success. It must be incredibly hard to not know what happened to their beloved son and brother. While it's understandable that SBS had to follow the court ruling, it's obvious that Mrs. Kim doesn't want the episode to air because the world will probably learn the full truth. And now that she's basically built a completely new life for her, she wouldn't want that taken away from her, would she? Lee Hyun-do, a person who made Deuce Complete, shared a story about Kim Sung-jae on a broadcast one day. He started off by saying that he and Sung-jae fought a lot before Sung-jae left the US to have his solo debut stage in Korea. According to Hyun-do, as Sung-jae was leaving, he gave him a smile, bid him goodbye, and gave his hand for a handshake. Hyun-do didn't take it. On that day, Hyun-do had a strange dream where he and Sung-jae had just finished a schedule and had many fans approaching them with flowers. What Hyun-do found weird was that all the fans went to Hyun-do and gave their flowers to him. No one went to Sung-jae, who could only smile at them from afar. When Hyun-do went to him and gave him some flowers, Sung-jae only said, "It's okay, I'm gonna get tons of flowers tomorrow." This story gives me the chills.
And even after all the scandals, some idols still managed to find love in the spotlight. On July 1st, 2025, Korean media dropped a bombshell. Idol-turned-actress Hyeri had been dating dancer Wootae for over a year, and almost no one knew. It all began last year on the set of Victory in 2023. Within this movie, Hyeri played a character called Pil Seon, the bold leader of the Millennium Girls cheer squad, performing songs like Diva's Why Are You Calling Me and Do's Turn Around and Look at Me. Meanwhile, Wootae, working as the film's choreographer alongside dancer Kinky, spent hours teaching her each routine. It seems that those close practice sessions soon sparked something no one saw coming. Wootae, already famous for his moves on Street Man Fighter, quickly caught Hyeri's attention, and sources said he was just as charmed by her bright energy. Eventually, things took a turn. Insiders revealed that after filming wrapped up, the two quietly continued their romance back in Seoul. One person close to them said, "They've been dating for almost a year. They helped each other during their most difficult times and became very affectionate." Another insider added that it was a very cautious meeting, hinting that both stars were careful about public exposure. When the news broke, Hyeri's agency Sublime only fueled curiosity. On July 1st, 2025, they told reporters that they couldn't confirm anything regarding Hyeri's dating rumors as it pertains to her private life. In simpler words, they didn't confirm it or deny it. You see, in the world of K-entertainment, dating rumors often end with a quick and clear "not true." But this time, something felt different, according to fans. When rumors about Hyeri and Wootae dating started, Sublime did not firmly deny it. Instead, they carefully said, "This is all we can say at the moment." For fans and netizens, this undisclosed stance felt like a silent nod. What's more, soon fans started digging and they realized the clues had been out there all along. Amid these rumors, netizens found a post by Wootae from 2024. In August of that year, Wootae shared promotional materials for Victory on his personal SNS. He also posted videos and photos taken in the rehearsal studio. One video especially grabbed everyone's attention. It showed Wootae with actors Park Seo-won and Hyeri smiling and spending time together in the studio. In that post, he spoke about how taking on his first film choreography and doing motion capture had become a truly precious experience for him. He remembered how the number of lessons kept increasing beyond his expectations, and that, in the end, it felt like he was practicing almost every day. What caught people's attention most was how fondly he spoke of Hyeri and Park Seo-won. Wootae said their hard work made the film shine even brighter and more valuable. He even confessed that he enjoyed Victory more than Deadpool and wanted to watch it again. Though Victory was already getting a lot of love, Wootae felt it deserved even more. He also recalled receiving the offer right after Street Man Fighter was broadcast. Back then, he felt burdened because it was his first acting role and taking on a lead felt heavy, but he was immediately asked to guide the choreography instead, which felt natural to him as it was something he did regularly. For fans, Wootae's words weren't just about work. They felt like secret love letters hidden in a public post. His special affection for Victory, his admiration for Hyeri, and the agency's silent stance made everyone wonder, was this the beginning of a love no one noticed? When dating rumors about Hyeri and Wootae exploded, the Victory team themselves were left stunned. A representative told Osin that to them, Wootae was just a hip-hop dancer who taught choreography to the actors. They had no idea about any relationship brewing behind the scenes. But were there signs hiding in plain sight? Fans think so. Due to their professional bond, Hyeri tagged Wootae on social media back in February 2023. Back then, everyone brushed it off as normal. channel, just an actress tagging her choreographer. But now, everything looks different. Then there's the case of untagged uploads from January 2025. Wootae quietly shared some images back then, and at the time, no one thought twice. But today, fans are replaying, convinced these quiet photos mark the secret early days of their romance. Yet as fans piece together these hidden clues, Hyeri's next move hinted that the story was far from over. After wrapping up filming for her drama-friendly rivalry, Hyeri jetted off to the Philippines for a well-deserved vacation and a photo shoot with some of the drama staff. Her destination was Amampulo, an exclusive luxury resort island. She shared her dreamy getaway with fans through a video on YouTube, posting gorgeous snaps of the scenery and tagging the resort. But eagle-eyed netizens noticed something curious. Fans discovered that some of Hyeri's photos match images once shared by Wootae just a few days later, now mysteriously deleted. One image showed Wootae standing against a starry backdrop, matching a similar scene in Hyeri's uploads. Another showed him standing in the ocean at sunset with an island formation identical to the one featured in her post. While neither Hyeri nor Wootae confirmed being there together, these images have added fuel to the burning rumors of their secret romance. And of course, while Hyeri and Wootae's dating rumors continue to shake the industry, a new piece of evidence has resurfaced online. In 2025, a video of Hyeri and Wootae practicing choreography together reappeared. The clip was from her first solo fan meeting practice, uploaded to her YouTube channel, but now it's under a whole new spotlight. In the video, Hyeri is seen practicing different dance moves with Wootae guiding her patiently. At one point, Wootae notices her discomfort and tells her that her shoulder must be uncomfortable. She admits it is, and Wootae smiles, saying that means she's doing it right. Another playful moment caught viewers' attention. When Wootae suggests practicing again while they are taking a break, Hyeri jokingly replies that he has just told her to rest. Fans felt their easy and teasing atmosphere showed just how close they really were. But as fans rewatched every moment between them, Hyeri's sudden message to her supporters revealed just how deeply these rumors had begun to affect her life. After days of whispers about her secret romance with dancer Wootae, Hyeri finally spoke up. But her message wasn't what fans expected. On July 4th, 2025, Hyeri broke her silence on Bubble and told fans she missed them so much she couldn't sleep. She had been reading every single message they sent her. More than anything, she said she just wanted them to be healthy and happy. Addressing the rumors, Hyeri shared that she had been attacked for a long time and had grown used to it. But this time was different, as seeing her fans in pain broke her heart. She ended her message with a sincere apology, promising to be more mindful next time. She thanked her fans and told them she was sorry. Then she added 3 words that melted hearts everywhere. I love you. These emotional messages came while dating rumors with Wootae were at their peak, but not everyone was kind. Some fans attacked Hyeri, accusing her of being inconsiderate. One harsh message arrived at 7 a.m., scolding her for hurting fans. Hyeri responded sincerely, saying she was really sorry and would try to do better. This simple reply went viral, triggering heated debates online about loyalty, idol privacy, and the price of fame. Of course, as Hyeri's quiet apology stirred both sympathy and backlash, the timeline of her tangled love life snapped back into focus. Only sometime after her painful breakup with actor Ryu Jun-yeol, people thought it would take Hyeri some time to start dating again. But when news of her new alleged relationship with Wootae started making waves, everyone was confused. You see, Hyeri and Ryu Jun-yeol's breakup was confirmed in November 2023. The two had been together for around 7 years, ever since they first met on the set of Reply 1988 in 2015. After the breakup, though, even more controversy hit both of their lives when a major scandal involving Ryu Jun-yeol and actress Han So-hee became known. Soon, Ryu was suddenly linked to Han So-hee, sparking backlash and endless speculation about when their relationships truly overlapped. Hyeri made headlines with her raw and emotional response after her breakup news with Ryu Jun-yeol went public. Her honest words led to a whirlwind of reactions, sparking back-and-forth debates between the star's fandoms. Some defended her with fierce loyalty, while others took sides with Ryu, making the situation even messier. Now, with Hyeri reportedly moving on with Wootae, fans are watching her closely, but this time their hearts are mostly filled with hope. Obviously, many fans cheered her on, happy to see her find love again after such a long relationship. But not everyone felt the same. The romance news took an unexpected turn when fans noticed something curious. Soon after the story broke, a post comparing Wootae to Ryu Jun-yeol went viral. One fan wrote, "Her taste is so consistent," sparking huge reactions online. Another joked, "It's like watching your best friend fall for someone with a type you just can't understand." Some fans even shared funny personal examples to explain their confusion. They described how they knew people who always liked guys who looked weak or sickly, or friends who only dated men with tiny beady eyes. However, not everyone saw it as odd. Some netizens claimed Wootae actually looked better than Ryu Jun-yeol. One fan even commented, "Teacher Wootae is kind, better looking than Ryu too." And honestly, if his personality is even a bit better than Ryu's, then he might might actually be okay.